Could you please suggest yogasanas or pranayamas for mental health?
Mental health, yes, definitely. We have Nadi Shodhana that needs to be practiced, and Kapalbhati is there, and Brahmari. If you do, there's a lot of research happening, and when you chant Om, also, that literally has a lot of effect on your abdomen as well as your mental clarity.
So, are there any plants, are there any herbs could be grown in our backyard, come really handy for focus?
Yeah, Brahmi helps, and to increase the focus or attention, I would say screen time should be lessened first.
Reduced.
So, children with online classes, there is no choice but for them to attend. But other than that, how much it is required, it is better to use it. Otherwise, just try to reduce usage of the screens as much as possible.
Ma'am, is there a lot of people have issues with regulating their emotion, anger or sadness, excessive energy or hyperactivity or something like that. So, is there a study or is there a vidya which is related to regulation of emotions?
Yes, stress management, anger management are some of serious issues one faces, right? So, as I mentioned, meditate definitely every day or regularly, and once you follow these the Nadi Shodhana and Brahmari and all of those, right? So that will enable us to overcome these kind of issues.
Ayurveda can support mental health and healing of mental disorders.
Mental health is, as I mentioned, the definition itself mentions that the overall health is physical, mental, and the social well-being of a person is considered health. And in Ayurveda, we have a separate branch called Manasaroga, which is Graha Chikitsa is what we mentioned. So all of these mental health issues are dealt with by the practitioners, and definitely there are solutions for mental well-being and mental health as well, right from doing the do's and don'ts, and also there are medications and panchakarma therapies that can be prescribed to the patients. It depends on the condition. The Manasa Roga Chikitsa is a subject in detail, and there are Manasa Roga practitioners as well. So that's a separate branch. It's a specialty that people pursue and then practice. So as Ayurveda doctors, we do take up those cases, and we definitely treat those cases.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask a question from my end. So
Yes.
I have experienced lately, like around me, some people having this thing called tinnitus. I had it for some time too. So a constant buzzing. How is it placed? I really don't know whether it's placed in a mental disorder, like because some people have it due to stress. And then there's also reasons like cold because of which you have it. Constant cold, and when your sinuses, everything gets blocked, you can get that. So according to Ayurveda, how is tinnitus approached, or how is it looked at?
Yes, tinnitus can develop due to various factors, Trishant. So here you say that you're experiencing recurrent cold as well, right? And when there is congestion, you develop that. And also tinnitus can develop due to cervical spondylosis as well. So when there are spine issues, also tinnitus can develop, and there are some blockage, and then where there's some infection and all of that, it can develop. So you often see this complaint in people with kapha disorders as well as in vata kapha disorders, wherein when the spine issues are there, definitely in a long run, when it becomes chronic, then people are bound to develop tinnitus. That needs to be addressed quickly. Hope I answered your question. And definitely there are
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
solutions for tinnitus in Ayurveda. Yes. And it is treated on a case by case basis.
Yeah, every person has a different, unique.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Mr. Chandresh Roth has asked if consuming sea buckthorn is okay.
Yeah, it is good for health. It can be consumed in limits. Just don't overuse it, or just consult your Ayurveda Vaidya in case required. But it is taken as a nutritional supplement these days.
Okay. There's a participant asking, could you please suggest yogasanas or pranayamas for mental health?
Mental health, yes, definitely. We have Nadi Shodhana that needs to be practiced, and Kapalbhati is there, and Brahmari, if you do. There's a lot of research happening. And when you chant Om also, that literally has a lot of effect on your abdomen as well as your mental clarity. So once you do that, and Brahmari is one thing that one can practice, and Nadi Shodhana as well. I would suggest that one gets trained under a yoga teacher and then practice that. You can learn that very easily and then practice that on a day-to-day basis. And that needs to be done by people of all ages.
Thank you, ma'am. There's a question from Mr. Manish T. Mehta. Do you have any suggestions for viral arthritis recovery? All tests are negative.
Yeah, sometimes, the lab tests, we come across a lot of patients with the lab test being normal or the negative, this thing, it's again, we need to examine the patient and offer the solution. But yes, definitely we will have either it is management of the case or whether that needs any surgical intervention, be it any kind of arthritis, yes. And again, it depends on Rogi and Rogabala. That is very important.
There's a question from Ms. Shampi. I have histamine intolerance problem. All the time I have cold and blocked nose. Can you please explain on that? Is it
Sorry, what
related
was
to
the first part of the statement you mentioned?
I have histamine intolerance problem.
Okay.
All the time I have cold and blocked nose.
Yeah, so that you will need to consult your Vaidya, not just this complaint, but we'll need to take history and then treat. But there are a lot of supplements that you can take. There's Chyawanprash available. Make sure you take very authentically prepared Chyawanprash, or for to build immunity and for recurrent cold, we offer a lot of medications that can be consumed as supplements. So there are simple formula, but they give really good solutions, and they are good in alleviating those issues, whether it is recurrent cold or cough, or there's a lot of congestion that people experience a lot of times. But from your point of view, one needs to be taken care of whatever I have mentioned earlier. So the don'ts have to be practiced very strictly. Like, you can't have water from the fridge and then not complain about having headache and all of that. So those are some of the things that we will need to follow. But for that complaint, you will need to consult Ayurveda Vaidya. I see a lot of questions coming up, but here one mentioned about chronic pancreatitis and then lactose intolerance. These are some of the things, right? So these all need examination, case history, and then medications can be provided. But overall, at a higher level, I would mention that Ayurveda is meant to treat the root of the disease along with the symptoms. So for that, we will need to assess the patient and then provide medication. For
That,
emergencies, definitely allopathy and Ayurveda should go hand in hand, and then for management of all the cases, Ayurveda helps a lot. There are different
that,
medications that can be prescribed.
thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I'd like to ask a question from my end. So nowadays, there's a lot of social media usage, a lot of Instagram usage, TikTok usage, which studies reveal sort of affects your attention span and focus. So your attention span reduces to whatever trend is going on right now. It's like 7 seconds and lesser than that sometimes. So are there any plants? Are there any herbs that help in, like, I know of one which is Brahmi, something that I have in my
Brahmi.
garden. Would you suggest anything else which is similar to that and could be grown in our backyard, come really handy for
Yeah,
focus?
Brahmi helps, and to increase the focus or attention, I would say screen time should be lessened first.
Reduce.
So, children with online classes, there is no choice but for them to attend. But other than that, how much it is required, it is better to use it. Otherwise, just try to reduce usage of the screens as much as possible, and continuous screen time, be it on TV, be it on laptops or phones and all of that. That is a serious problem, and it has already become a health hazard. So, Brahmi, yes, supplements are there, Trishant, and there are few other supplements also that one can take, like, amla, for example, that can be taken. Brahmi can be consumed. There are a lot of formulae in the market that you find to improve your immunity. But for brain fogging or mental clarity and all of that, first thing is reduce these, have good food, and good sleep is very, very important. So once that is followed right, you will automatically see that there is a difference. So the AirPods that we use and continuously, that will aggravate vata. If you see, the hearing problem comes because there's constant pressure on the eardrum. So which increases vata. And then that's where the hearing impairment also starts. The focus gets diminished. And then that's where all these mental health issues also at lack of attention, especially in children. So these are some of loud musics and all of these are all not recommended.
Like you said, the eye, ears, if there's a problem, is mostly related to Vata issues.
Yeah.
So, with the eye also, is it similar? Like, I mean,
Yes, eyes
is it
also it is
Vata
the
itself?
same. Yes, eyes also it is the same. Coming to your question before, so there are a lot of Medhya rasayanas like Brahmi, Shankapushpi. These can be consumed, and seasonally whatever is recommended. I would suggest that all of you please reach out to your Ayurveda Vaidyas wherever you are, and then consume it. And there are a lot of supplements that can improve your immunity. And for eye health, definitely there is Akshitarpanam that can be done apart from Abhyangam. So that will only rejuvenate your eyes, as well as eating a lot of carrots, raw mango. So all of these vegetables that are rich in vitamin A, those can be consumed. And one of my favorite supplement is Saptam Drotalohamu, so which is an Ayurvedic preparation, classical formulae. So that helps improving the eyesight as well. So these are some of the things that can be taken. I mentioned Rasayana, if you remember. So Rasayana Chikitsa is something that everybody needs to take at least for 2 to 3 months in a year. If you consume those supplements, that is easier. I'm not trying to say that you should take supplements on a regular basis. There are certain things that for each part of the body, certain drugs are being recommended. At least in the fast-paced environment, instead of popping up unnecessary pills, let us consume these things, right? Like the turmeric milk, there's a formula called Haridra Kand, which is very helpful in allergies. So we see a lot of allergies also these days. So these are kind of things that one needs to take. And in what form? I would say, please grow these plants. But what is the part that you will use? That knowledge has to be there and then you can use it. Like Punanava is grown everywhere and that is really good for renal function. So consuming, but I would say Panchangam is being used in preparation of those tablets. But then, people consume leaves. Right. So for few herbs, shrubs and plants, the entire plant is being used. For few of them, it is only few parts of the plants are being used.
Just like the root or the bark powder or
Correct.
something.
Correct. So that knowledge has to be there. So I would say that reach out to your doctors and then take those supplements.
Ma'am, is there a lot of people have issues with regulating their emotion, anger or sadness, excessive energy or hyperactivity or something like that. So is there a study or is there a vidya which is related to regulation of emotions? Yeah, something that allows you to control your temper, be more calm, or maybe be less calm in certain cases.
Yes, stress management, anger management are some of serious issues one faces, right? So, as I mentioned, meditate definitely every day or regularly. And once you follow these, the Nadi Shodhana and Brahmari and all of those, right? So that will enable us to overcome these kind of issues. So it's a very comprehensive tool that Ayurveda offers to lead our life happily. And yes, definitely, the sleep pattern, one needs to sleep, have sound sleep for a couple of hours, for 6 to 8 hours, 6 to 7 hours. Again, it depends on each individual. Few may need less number of hours to stay active and few may need more hours. So just assess yourselves, how your health is, how your appetite is, these many calories, this portion of food may not suit everybody. So even for mental health. So all of these stress management also comes under our psychological or mental health, right? So these are certain things we need to assess ourselves and then follow. This all comes under Vihara, where we need to follow regular good sleep cycle. So that solves the problem half. And then daily meditation and all of that, breathing exercises and yoga will definitely help people overcome all of these issues.
Thank you, ma'am. There's a question from Miss Pinky. Could you please suggest me or please guide me about Hashimoto's? I'm not very well aware about it. Hashimoto's. My anti-TPO is 600. I want to cure and heal inflammation myself.
Yeah, so I would recommend that please reach out to the Ayurveda doctor, and this needs to be examined thoroughly before any prescription is being given. Yeah, so there are some do's and don'ts. So not maybe if I recommend something here, that may not suit her. Right, so these are certain things that needs a detailed consultation. Wherever you are, reach out to your Vaidya and then take medications accordingly. And if you have to treat yourselves, yes, definitely these are certain things. Apart from medications, you will need to follow whatever I have mentioned. You can take guidance from your doctor and then start doing it yourselves. That much I can tell you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there's a question from participant. How to help constipation and bloating for an 80-year-old male who needs to spend 6 hours in a day to relieve and goes almost 7 to 8 times to relieve himself.
Okay,
Right?
so I would say that simple formulae which is available everywhere. There are other medications also, but I would say that consume Triphala. So that might help, or there are some other combinations also which will help relieve. Obviously, owing to age, these are age related issues, and then you will need some help with medications. And Triphala is one of the best thing that you can consume. Up to 1 gram. Start off with having it in the night, and then if you don't find relief, then you can have it twice a day. And there's another medication, super medication, which is Avipattikar Churna. It is a very mridu virechankari, and then you can have that on it safely. You can have it. Triphala also you can consume
Thank you,
safely.
ma'am. Thank you again. Can Parkinson's be cured?
Managing Parkinson's is we can do that, but it all depends on at what stage it is and how serious the problem is. At the starting stage, we can obviously support. We have a lot of medications and panchakarma therapies to reduce the episodes of dyskinesias and all of those, right? So Sampavata is manageable according to Ayurveda, but one needs to take medications under supervision. You need to go to the doctor as you go to an allopath doctor, and it happens over a period of time. It can be managed. I won't promise, but again, as I said earlier, it is again Rogi and Rogabala. It depends on that. At least we can stop the progression or slow the progression of the disease.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, there's a question from Mr. B.S. Lonagarya. I am suffering from my lower back pain and also at both the knees and thighs due to post-herpetic neuralgia since last 40 months and almost on bed rest. My weight is 70 kgs and my height is 5 feet 8 inches. I have referred 3 Ayurvedic doctors, but they can't give any relief. Could you please guide me on a video call or WhatsApp?
I can certainly guide them, definitely. But then, what is the age of the patient? So I would say that you already mentioned that you have been to 3 Ayurveda Vaidyas. So there are Panchakarma treatments that one needs to follow and then take, and it can get relieved in 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Again, it depends on what is the severity of the issue, and followed by management of the case with medications. So we
So it's
perform
70
internal
years old.
vasties. 70 years old, I see that, yeah. In some internal medications can be taken, as well as some bahya vastis like kativasti and uh, you know uh, internal vasti like matra vasti, and there are some other treatment methodologies that we will need to follow and treat the case until they have relief. So if you are from Hyderabad, I can recommend, or wherever you, or reach out to Panchakarma Center, and then wherever you are, and then get treated. But this needs attention, definitely.
And there's a question from Katyusha. How can we and where can we get to know one's Prakriti?
Prakriti is known by Nadi Pariksha. Ayurveda Vaidyas usually do the Nadi Pariksha, before they go ahead with prescribing medications according to the ailment. So, any Ayurveda Vaidya who are dedicated, there are few people who do the Nadi Pariksha. Which place, if you can let me know, I can refer you there and then you can go get it checked. But usually, all the Ayurveda Vaidyas they do Nadi Pariksha. You can reach out to your Ayurvedic doctor close by. It's a big
Um,
science again.
uh, there's a question from Shanti again. My IgE levels are 800. I have more allergies. How to overcome this?
Allergies, again, that means your immunity levels are need some attention, and then you will need to be on certain medications. And how are your habits and all of these? This needs a proper examination. And then I would recommend that you can start using supplements like Chyawanprash and then have Amla and other nutritional supplements, Ayurvedic supplements that are there in the market. So, as per prescription from your doctor, and then you can see those levels coming up, and you'll have some relief. Definitely, it can be treated.
Thank you, ma'am. Another question for Pratyusha. What is the best morning or night herbal drink according to Ayurveda recommended for a happy gut?
So my favorite drug is Yashtimadu, Glycyrrhiza glabra. So there are several herbal teas in the market. So you can have either tulsi tea or there's jeera we all use at home, right? So cumin seeds, and there is ajamoda, which is carom seeds. So these are all certain drugs that are really helpful for the gut to reduce vata and to balance the pitta dosha as well. So you can have any of these, and mulethi chai is something, mulethi tea is what you can have, or tulsi tea. Those are certain things, but whatever suits you, please do have, but not on a we can't overdo everything. So everything in limit is good. Ati sarvatra varjayet.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for your patience and